You see formula, yeah? You see that baby formula?
Yeah, it's
There
not
was like, when I
cheap.
used to work in Lidl, yeah, and people would be stealing that out of the
Stealing it,
shops.
yeah.
I see
Nah,
why
that's
now, because it's
crazy.
And they put it
expensive.
behind cages
That's
now because
crazy.
people
Yeah.
take it, yeah.
It's spenny, like.
And then even with this stuff about like, oh, maybe eventually in the future, once your earning has increased and this and that, everything's going to be fine. More time, the way things are going now, it's not going to be okay. It's going to get worse because then the average person most likely won't earn enough at any point to actually have the essentials like a house, a car, whatever, and be able to enjoy eventually. So I don't think maybe you should potentially just enjoy now because it's looking long anyway. First of all, welcome back, guys, to another episode of Echats. We got some familiar faces. As you know, we're trying to get back into things, so we're just gonna dive straight into it. To be honest, I don't think we need to do too many introductions. Unless anyone does anyone want to do an introduction? No, I guess not. Fair enough.
My hacks. You've seen me before, you know how it is.
Anyways, yeah. So I feel like today, what I want to talk about is something that's on, I guess, a lot of like people in our age range. It's on our mind a lot. Stuff around cost of living. I think I'm just gonna ask you guys, what do you think about the cost of living situation? What's your thoughts? How's it affecting your life? What do you think?
I'd say, like, I think it's inevitable though. I think if you look at the signs, like it was always kind of going this way.
Yeah.
Like obviously inflation rising, unemployment being a thing, lack of jobs, availability. Like I think I could see it kind of coming. Obviously it's not the best situation, and a lot of people are then thinking about like, moving to different cities and different countries to alleviate the cost of living and stuff, but you have to think like where you're gonna go, which is better. Do you know what I'm saying? Because as much as obviously it's not the greatest at the moment, like you have to think wherever you're gonna go, is it gonna be better? Is it gonna be worse?
I don't know. I can think of a couple places that might be better, especially because you guys were just talking now about how the tax situation in the UK is a bit mad. Like you're kind of disincentivized to earn more because the more you earn, then obviously the more tax you have to pay.
Yeah.
So it's like you've got places like Dubai which have a much better tax situation. I just feel like what's stopping us from like wanting to go there? I just feel like it makes more sense to go to a place where you get more returns from the effort that you put into work and stuff
Cool.
like that.
I'll talk about Dubai quickly, yeah. So
Okay.
one of my ex-colleagues that was doing like senior sales for the gym or whatever, he went out to basically, I won't say too much of his business in it, but like he went out to basically do real estate in Dubai. And he got like a job out there before he left, saved up and then went out there, yeah. And he gave me the rule in terms of like keeping it honest and saying if you're not of the culture, you don't get as much help or as much of a bring-in as you think you would. Like it's not necessarily like you just go there, start making money, and it's all like obviously depends what you do in your experience. But they're very like heavy on like keeping it in the culture from what I've heard. So if you go over there and you just think you're gonna go and chop the money and take the money, it depends on the connections you have before you get out there. So he just said that if you're not of that culture as much, it can get a little bit harder for certain support. But it just depends on what you do. Real estate might be a bit more territorial. Depends on other jobs you do. If you can help the culture there, then why not?
Interesting. So you're saying Dubai is not a place that you'd want to go?
No, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that's just something to consider. Like it's one person's experience, whereas like we were saying before, like I could go there, have a completely different experience based on the people that I know over there, have contacts with. Like I know someone that works in a gym over there, for example. So if I wanted to, with my experience, go over there and do something, it's a potential. But then, cool, there's like zero tax. But then, what's the cost of living like there? What's the average salaries there? What's the job employment rate over there? What kind of qualifications do you need to go over there? It's just stuff you have to consider. But I think you should travel to like see what you can do, because I'll say you'll never regret traveling. You'll get the experiences you need. Find out, innit?
What about you, Antonio? Do you agree? Because I feel like you're constantly always telling me about Dubai, how we should travel to Dubai, how you feel like there's more opportunities in Dubai, stuff like that.
I'm like 50-50 at the moment because I haven't actually been to Dubai myself, and it would definitely be a case of going there, seeing what the vibe is before making the decision to move. I know there's lots of pros, like it's very safe, they have very good schools, and they are tax free, but I don't think it's necessarily going to be as simple as just move there and then your lifestyle is just going to automatically be exactly how
No,
you
no.
want.
Yeah.
It's also very different from the UK in terms of like rules. We even have you know that story right now about that young guy who went to jail in
Yeah,
Dubai.
yeah, yeah,
Oh, I think I
yeah,
heard about that. What
yeah,
was the
Yeah.
yeah,
reason
yeah,
for
yeah.
that again? I forgot.
Like the age of consent in Dubai is 18,
Yeah.
and he basically slept with someone under that age, and he got like
I
arrested
mean,
in
that's
Dubai.
just mad though. Like,
But that is their rules there, so they do have different rules. They do have different customs, and another thing is like the culture. Like I personally really appreciate Black British culture, especially in London. And when you go even outside of London to different places, you don't have that diversity. You don't have that just vibe, I guess, that you have sometimes in London.
Yeah.
And that's one thing that I'm not sure about. Like, I don't know if you'd want to actually be living in a place where you're not like of that culture necessarily.
this is
That's
my
what
thing.
I
I've heard a lot of
think.
people bring that up as as an issue, like going out of the UK to these other places like Dubai and stuff. But my thing is these vibes of the UK and London, is it worth like literally not being able to afford to live in your own house by
It's
yourself?
a
Do
difficult
you know what I
one to,
mean?
and that's why I say it's a case of us having to go there and seeing how we feel, because you don't want to feel in a place that you're living. You don't want to feel like a stranger,
Yeah,
and there's
I
Yeah,
feel
lots of
you, yeah.
aspects that are different. It's a Muslim country, which I'm not,
yeah.
um, and there's a lot of things that are different from the way I've grown up. So it's like one side of life is like taxes and finances and stuff like that, but with that it's also a thing where there's always a way. It might take more time than you would like, but there's always a way to sort of get to the point you want to be eventually. um, I'm not, because money is not everything at the same time as
No,
well.
it's
You want
not,
to be
no.
comfortable in the place that you're living, the place that you're calling home. And that's why I'm like 50-50. I might go there and say, because lots of, especially black people go and they love Dubai, especially Nigerians. Nigerians love Dubai.
I've seen,
So
I've
I
seen,
won't be
yeah, I've
surprised if
seen.
I go there and I love it. But I would love tax free. I would love to have all of my money, but not at the cost of like my happiness and
Yeah.
my comfortability, and moving away from all my friends and family, which I'm kind of at the point now where I'm like, life is hard, work is hard, everything is
It's
hard.
one.
But recently it's been the times I've been out with my friends and we've been like carefree and having fun. That's why I'm like, oh, life's not so bad. Like I was literally with my best friend yesterday and we were just at her house, like singing, like having food, having drinks, and I was like, damn, like life's not so bad. The
Yeah, yeah,
sun's
yeah. No, fair,
shining,
fair,
like
fair.
we lit. So to leave all of that to have my tax free, I don't know,
Yeah.
like.
Do you know what you said about the point of like being accepted into the culture and stuff? Yeah. I think London does that quite well because I think there was a stat I saw ages ago. Yeah, and I was like, only like 5% of like the UK is black.
Yeah,
Like
Mad.
five. When you
it
think of five
is.
percent, like for
That's
every
tiny.
100 people, you've got five black people.
That's
Yeah, but it's
crazy.
because obviously London is obviously very like
You don't
cultured and
feel
So
it in
everything. When you go
diverse,
London,
to
yeah.
Scotland, yeah,
bro.
bro, my guy was playing football out there. He moved there. He's like he was waiting for days to see a brother. Like, imagine
Mad.
that, and it's like when you're there coming up to you and seeing you, they're like, you lost, like you
Mad.
lost. So, like it happens because,
Nah, I get
but then
that.
there's loads of, as you said, there's loads of things to consider when you're moving. It's like how you feel when you're around there. Do you feel out of place?
Yeah.
Obviously, if you're not going to be around family, what are the people like? What's the culture
Yeah.
like? Yes, the tax-free stuff incentivizes and stuff, but then you have to think: is it better as a holiday destination or a workplace?
Exactly.
like all of that. You know what
I
I'm
get
saying?
where you're coming from, and I do feel like sometimes when we're having these conversations, because I feel like a lot of people are talking about this right now, how the UK is kind of like just done now because of the cost of living. I do feel like you're bringing up good points, and it reminds me that to an extent, a lot of us do take London for granted in terms of diversity. I think because a lot of us grew up here, we think, oh, the world's just like this. Do you know what I mean? Like, black people are everywhere,
It's
diversity is
not,
everywhere. It's not,
bro.
and it's like that's something that I started realizing recently when I've started traveling more. For example, we're like in Romania, and it's like, bro,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
just felt awkward being black there.
Yeah,
Like, it didn't feel right. But at the same time, I'm just getting to the point. As I get older and life is getting more real, like we're entering adulthood more, we have to worry more about financial things. It's like no matter how you feel, no matter how much you care about vibes, like there's essential things that I feel like we all know we need as we enter adulthood. Like I think some of these basic essentials, like being able to get your own house, have your own car, especially as a man, like being able to be financially set up that you can think about starting a family. Like
Yeah.
all these, I think, basic aspects of human life that we should be able to have. I feel like the way the UK economy is going, it's actually becoming impossible to establish those things. Like even with like having kids and starting a family, less and less people are having kids in our age range now.
That's
Like back in the
true.
day, people would be popping babies left, right, center around this age. No one wants to do it now, and it makes sense because what you're gonna raise your kid in like your family's house, like or on the block, like
I think this
Yeah.
is like the thing that I find the biggest shame about the cost of living is that it's slowing down how quickly we can achieve certain things. Like, I think a lot of us felt like ideally, quite soon after uni, we'd be able to move out. But the biggest advice right now is stay at
Stay
home,
at
save
home.
money. Is
Yeah.
when you look at trying to rent in London, the prices are like
Yeah.
ridiculous, honestly. Like, it's almost impossible. And I think that's kind of what makes it like very disheartening because it's like you've done everything that you felt like was needed. You've been to university, you've got your degree, you've even got a decent paying job, maybe an above average paying job, but still you're unable
still
to
not
get the
enough.
things that you would expect to come with that. And I think that's kind of what makes it really like hard and like
Yeah.
Yeah.
makes it a shame. And it's also the fact that a lot of the time you have to choose. So it's like some people have moved out, some people have a car, some people are traveling, but very few people at our age are able to
Doing
move
all of
out,
it.
have a
Do all
car,
three.
and
Nah, you
travel
have to
and
pick.
like live their best life. So
Yeah.
it's like it's just
It's
it's just
techie, innit? It's
disappointing,
Yeah.
techie. Like
really.
two things with that as well. Like I was looking at another pod the other day, and he was talking about basically back in the day, people had like a salary of £7,000 a year,
Yeah.
yeah. But then buying a house it costs 20k on average.
Yeah, I
So it
saw
was,
that
you
as
saw that
well.
one,
So it'll take
innit?
like
So
4
it's like
years
so it'll
to
be like
buy a
triple your
house.
salary, yeah. But the way it is now, it's almost about like 9 to 10 times your salary,
Yeah.
and that's what I thought about. Me personally, I don't know if I want a mortgage personally because
Interesting.
yes, it gives you the slightest bit more security, but if you
Yeah.
default on those payments, you ain't getting a house.
You're
They'll take it
not,
off
they'll
you.
take it from you.
So it's not necessarily yours until you pay it off.
Yeah.
And I don't want to be stuck in one country paying off a mortgage if I'm not necessarily going to be there.
Yeah.
Yes, you could let it out and things like that as well, but then where are you going to stay if you are doing that? Are you going to go back to your parents and then get them to pay off the mortgage and stuff?
Hey guys, quick intermission here. Yes, this is going to be a little bit of shameless promo, but your boy's an adult now and needs to start paying some bills. So if you want to help with that, here's a few different ways you can support the growth of this channel. First of all, you can check out the description down below. There's going to be a link to my link tree, and in that link tree there's going to be a section called shop. Make sure to check that out if you're interested in making content yourself. I'm going to be listing all the equipment that I use to make the very content you're watching right now, so that might help you out. Quick disclaimer, it will be affiliate links that I'm using, so any purchase that you make, I will get a little bit of a commission, but as you can see, your boy hasn't got a trim, so I'm gonna need that commission. Another way you guys can support the growth of this channel is by subscribing to the Patreon. That's right, Eclipse finally has a Patreon now. Just started it recently, so still working out exactly how it's going to work. But there's going to be a few different membership tiers. There's even going to be a free tier. If you don't want to give me any money, that's okay. I'm not going to hate you. But yeah, if you can subscribe to the free membership tier, you'll have access to a sort of weekly newsletter I'm going to be putting out. It's where you can see all my thoughts written down and stuff like that. But yeah, if you do want to give me money and maybe help me afford a top, yeah, make sure to check out the other tiers. I think one of them is like £5 a month, another one's £10 a month, and you're gonna have access to random different perks. So yeah, if you want to support this channel, make sure to check those out. They're gonna be linked down in the description below. Other than that, keep watching the video. Hope you enjoy. Thanks.
So I was thinking about that, and then I even did like a calculator of all the bills and everything, yeah. And then someone was saying you need to be on about like 5-6 grand to live comfortably, and I was like, that's way too much. Who's making 5-6
Who's on
grand?
that,
But then I looked at it,
the
yeah.
top percentage of people.
No, literally, I think like if you're making 80 bags or more, you're in like the top 5% of people in the UK, whatever, yeah. So I don't know who's really making that. But if you're looking at rent, council tax, all the other bills, and a car, and like a 1-bed flat or like a house share with all your other bills, that's about 2.5, just on bills alone. So if they say 50% of your salary is supposed to be on that, you need to be making 5 bags. And that's if you're by yourself. That doesn't take into consideration if you've got a partner or if you've got kids, for example. Like I know a lot of people that are having kids a bit younger, so they're factoring all these things now that they didn't before, and they're looking at like I think my stepsister just she's her son's 1, basically just turned 1, and she was saying that you see formula, yeah, you see that baby formula.
Yeah, it's
There's
not
like when
cheap.
I used to work in Lidl, yeah, and people would be stealing that out of the
Stealing it,
shops.
yeah.
I see why
That's
now, because it's
crazy.
And
expensive.
they put it behind cages
That's
now
crazy.
because
Yeah.
people take it. Yeah.
It's spenny, like.
No,
it's
that
actually a
reminded
lot.
me of something else that's a bit mad that's happening now. Like obviously we got food banks, and you'd think the only people that have to go food banks are people that maybe like homeless or like unemployed or something like that. I saw something online talking about how now people actually earning like 25k a year or 30k a year, some of them are now having to go to food banks because the cost of living is that bad. And it's crazy. Like some of these people apparently used to be donating to the food banks. Now they're
And now
queuing up
they're taking them.
to get something as well. So I feel like there's definitely a problem in the UK right now. And I don't know when it's going to get better. And that's why I'm considering my options now.
I do think though there's obviously certain instances where it's going to be hard on us, but then certain things where again I've taken a bit more accountability in terms of what I'm spending on now.
Yeah.
Because you know the times where you'd go out like a bit more, you'd go to like restaurants a bit more. Like I don't even club as much now. A, because it's just a bit dead anyway, and B, it's a lot of money for sometimes the same thing. Like there's always going to be parties. Do you know what I'm trying to say? Like, and just stuff in general. Like if I'm not planned towards it now, I try not to just go out and spend. Like, I just want to do this. Like I look at it and say, cool. What can I spend on now? What can I invest on now? I'll still be a bit lenient and have fun and that, but it just depends on what it is.
Interesting. Well, Antonio, do you feel like you've had to do a similar thing, like change your spending habits because of this situation?
I think not necessarily change, but I think prioritize definitely. Like it's not every trip I can go to, and like when I moved out, I knew that I was like, okay, I wouldn't have a car for a long period of time and stuff like that. So it's more like prioritizing what is important in your life. And I think one thing that I've been questioning is like, do we want too much, and is that because of like social media? Because I think on social media that it kind of gives a pressure to travel 5 times a year, like have cool corporate job, and then also be at all the events. Everyone's like, oh, if you weren't there, where were you, blah 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 blah. And I'm like, do we need to have all of these things at once? Because I'm like, our time will come, in the next couple of years as we get deeper into our careers, more senior, our salaries will go up. As we, get married and have partnerships and stuff like that, automatically you get to a point of like combined incomes, which means you can get these places and you can maybe have some extra finances once there's two of you to then have a car. And then there is still plenty of time throughout our like 30s and stuff like that to travel a lot of to these places. Like we've been talking about Japan, Caribbean, blah blah blah. So sometimes I'm like, is it a case of just like taking a deep breath, being like, cool, can't do everything I want to do this year 2025, but like my time will come, because I do like believe that like at the end of the day I am gonna have everything I want. It might not be like right now today,
Yeah.
but like on the trajectory we're going on, we're gaining work experience, we're putting money aside, we're learning to budget, and we're, you know, building relationships and stuff like that. Like, is it just
I
a
don't
thing of
know.
our time's gonna
It's mad that you
come?
bring that up, because I feel like what you're saying now, I used to agree with, like, oh, it's a thing of, you know, people in this generation, we just need to be more patient and we need to be better with our spending.
Yeah.
But it's actually a debate that's going on like online now. I'm starting to have a different perspective towards this stuff, because for example, a lot of the older generation, like boomers, I think that's what they call them, will say, oh, the reason why we're struggling is because we spend too much on things like our Starbucks. And I don't drink Starbucks, but like they'll say that it's all that you're spending on your coffees and stuff like that. You don't need that, blah, blah, blah. But then I've seen people actually break down the maths, and apparently it's not that. Like, you can cut all those things out. Like,
Yeah, it's
the
true.
reason why this situation is deep now is because people are actually still living frugally, are actually still making sacrifices, more sacrifices than they probably have to be making. Do you know what I mean? Because you should be allowed to like travel, you know, a little bit in your 20s, or like eat out every now and then, and, you know, spend on enjoyment. That should be allowed. But the reason why the situation is so bad now is like, even if you don't do that, you're still gonna struggle. And then even with this stuff about like, oh, maybe eventually in the future, once your earning has increased and this and that, everything's gonna be fine. More time, the way things are going now, it's not gonna be okay. It's gonna get worse, because the housing
feel
prices are
you.
increasing exponentially, and it's outpacing like people's increase in wages. And the average person
Yeah.
most likely won't earn enough at any point to actually have the essentials like a house, a car, whatever, and be able to enjoy eventually. So I don't think maybe you should potentially just enjoy now, because it's looking long anyway. So
That's the thing, yeah. Because I was watching something else, and then it made me think something similar in terms of you can budget and stuff and you can do all of that, but it doesn't necessarily mean you're gonna have enough to then do what you want to do anyway. Like whether it's
yeah,
buy a car, buy a house, have a family, all of that. Um, I think it builds good habits in terms of, I think you need fun money. I think you shouldn't just have 100% of your salary or your earned income and then not have fun with it because you want to cut back. Like if
yeah,
you want to have like the extra Starbucks here and there, like go Starbucks, like have a meal, but just have it more planned, not like erratic in terms of I just want to do it now,
Yeah.
so I'm going to do it now. It's
yeah,
more like the discipline that comes with it in terms of, okay, I want to do this now, but I can't do it right now because I want to do this. When things are easier or when I know I have it, I'll just do it and not stress about it, because it doesn't then feel that enjoyable after if you're stressing about it after. Like one of my old colleagues went to for I think her 22nd birthday to like Hakkasan and Obu or something, and I've still not been to any of these places. Yeah, not because I couldn't, but it was like I just don't see the need right now for me to spend like a bill plus on a meal. Like
makes
it could be,
sense.
but then some people might go for the experience, the ambience, the nightlife. It's just not that deep to me right now. When I'm like 30, I might say, "Oh, I haven't been Nobu. I want to go Nobu."
Yeah.
But then I just think, A, it's a bit over rinsed now. But
Yeah,
then social media does that thing as well of like making you trying to catch up with people.
Yeah.
The old phrasing is
trying
like
to
they say, keeping up with the
keep
Joneses
up
and
with the
With the
stuff.
Joneses.
Like,
Joneses,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
it's like you'll look at everyone else doing this, but you only see everyone's highlights. Like you don't see the realness of some people. Like, didn't someone have to go on a payment plan for like going to a restaurant and they couldn't pay for
Yeah,
stuff
they
because they
couldn't
got
pay.
like
Yeah.
expensive bottles and stuff and they didn't know how much it costs. People
yeah.
won't show that though. They'll talk
You
about the
don't know
good
what's going on
times.
behind the scenes.
Yeah, man.
You don't.
I don't
You
watch people
don't.
too
And that's why I
tough.
just think like you kind of have to run your own race and see when are things gonna be realistic for you. I think that's more my point. Like unfortunately we're not in a time where like you can do loads of things all at once. But I think if you have more of a mindset of like I want to achieve things over like a longer period of time, then I feel like it becomes less sad, if that makes sense, and less depressing.
thoughts.
If it's more like, I'm gonna get a property and a car over the course of this decade, and I'm gonna travel to 10 countries over the course of this decade, for example, that's 10 years, and then it becomes a bit more like doable and a bit more approachable. I think it's more
Yeah,
of
for
the
sure.
mindset of I need to go to Caribbean, Japan, all this year, because
Yeah.
you're seeing people you're seeing people on TikTok who are doing that. But
Mm.
more time, a lot of these people in their 30s, don't be fooled.
Yeah,
Don't be fooled. A lot of
like
these
True,
people
it's
are in their
true.
30s. A lot of these people are getting
exactly.
paid by companies to do it. Like, you just
Facts.
need to kind of have your own, like, understand what's your budget saying, what's this saying, what's that saying, and make things work for you, and
Makes
have your
sense.
own expectations that you can stick to. Because if you go off of the standards that other people are setting for their life, that's when you're gonna feel like
Yeah, you're gonna
unfulfilled.
feel
That's my
behind.
opinion.
Makes
And
Yes,
sense.
but
No,
and
makes sense.
yeah.
literally, man.
No, I think that's a good note to end it on, to be honest. Yeah. Guys, let us know what you think in the comments below. What do you think about cost of living? Are you struggling? Are you thriving? And yeah, obviously let us know what you want us to talk about next. Other than that, thank you for watching. See you in the next one.
100%,
Like
for
and
sure.
subscribe.
Come on.
And that too.
All that
Peace.
good stuff.
Okay guys, looks like you made it to the end of the video. That's a bit crazy. That means you're really committed to my content, and if that's the case, just a quick reminder of the different ways you can support the growth of this channel and hopefully see more content like this. So if you check out the description again, there's going to be a link to my link tree with all my affiliate links. If you're interested in making content yourself, check out some of the equipment I'm using. You might want to use it yourself. On top of that, you can sign up to the Patreon as well. There's going to be different membership tiers. We even have a free membership. So if you don't want to give me any money, that's cool. Check out my Patreon, see if you're interested, make sure to subscribe. And yeah, hope you enjoyed the video. See you in the next one. Thanks. Peace.